Oh, we're live.
I set my alarm for it.
And it went up to the second. Wow. All right. Danny Boyd said he was first. And then we have Barrows, Dart Sport. Dust Devil is here. RC Industry, Engine Light Garage. Rapid Transit J, Mohawk, Hot Rock Guy Garage, Frankenstein. JB, Colleen. RT211 Racing. Junkyard D. Yeah. Well, today's a little different. Today's not Friday, of course. Still like to greet everybody. You can see we have our special guest Barrows in the house. For those of you who've not been to one of these before, this is Content Creator Workshops. What we do is usually a few times a year, we have these workshops, and usually I'll have a guest or two or people who have kind of cracked the code on YouTube, getting subscribers and how to improve your videos and how to start a channel and really make it go places. And so people like Barrows and Buck and these folks usually are pretty good at helping no-name 500 guys, as of course they were both no-name 500 guys the first season, get their channels and get the subs they need. So that's the idea. That's the point. Of course, anybody's welcome that wants to behave, but I figured that's what this is all about. So while a lot of people talk about all kinds of things in regards to YouTube, and you hear a lot of talk about watch hours and monetization and all that's fine, but that's not really the idea here. The idea here is to get started with your channel, get your content out there, and build a base of folks that want to see what you're doing. And make better videos. And that's the idea. And the rest all follows.
And with a good foundation that John here, Dallas, and this guy right up here, Buzz at Roadkill, laid down for us, it's not that hard. And like I said, a week ago, I think it was a week ago, I'll tell you the trick that I learned from Dallas that really, really opens it up. And it lets YouTube run in the background for you for the most part. So you don't have to be on your computer or you don't have to be watching it 24/7. You can let this video stuff kind of go in the background while you're doing other things. You're at work or whatever.
We have Frizzell here, Mailer's Workshop. Frizzell, of course, he's long since gotten his 500 subs, but this is his first year with the No Name Nationals.
Sweet.
Mater and Southern Juju. Tavo is here. Unfinished Project, LP94. Cool. Well, lots of fun folks here. But yeah, I'll tell you, every year, our rate of folks who make it through the No Name 500 is about 70%. About 70%. We would love to see 100% do it. But the thing is it's good that people will register again and come back and try it again and avenge their year before. A lot of people do. And the thing is that anybody can do it. I'm here to tell you without question, anybody can do it. All right. And
we have many shining examples in this group. I'm just one little.
I was going to say, we have one on the screen too. Barrows started with 42 subscribers when he registered of the first No Name 500. In fact, it wasn't called the No Name 500 then. It was the No Name Nationals. And then we had the folks trying to get 500 subs. Barrows actually gave it the name No Name 500 to race before the race. And it stuck. But he had 42 subscribers. And he was the first guy with under 500 subs to register and just have faith in himself and do it. And so, and I recognized his name from the chat. But he was out there in the snow moving stuff. I said, wow, this guy's after it. I'll give him that. And how many subscribers you have now, Barrows?
Oh, I don't know I'm pushing up on 4 grand now.
Yeah. And it's just that kind of work ethic and did it and figured out all these things along the way. So we just want to share that stuff with you guys. For whatever it's there to help. And I know that, and I'll tell you a compliment I really appreciate that I got. I was talking with the Nelsons last weekend, and Calvin said, we like to try to swing into those content creator workshops because we always learn some little new thing here or there. It helps our channel. They have 49,000 subscribers, but it's that attitude of saying, hey, maybe there's some little thing to learn, that I guess is why they have 49,000 subscribers.
And before this, I was watching all of the other ones, like Roberto, and there's many other, YouTube help creator things, but none of it focuses on automotive. And we are a unique crowd that is separate from everything. So a lot of those tips and tricks you're learning from those other YouTube things don't really apply here.
Well, the other thing too is not only that, this content creator workshop focuses on this community.
Yeah.
It's even better. So in other words, rather than having content creation tips and advice that says whether you have a gardening channel, a workout channel, super couponing at the store, paving, lawn care, okay, all that's great. But this is focused on you guys, the automotive. So in other words, we actually know all those little odd things and nuances to automotive content, like filming cars and this kind of stuff, right? So, and Andrew Nelson swings in. Glad
there he is.
All right. Well, cool. So this one is you can always feel free to ask questions at any time. If it's a really universal type of question, sometimes we'll try to generalize it so that it benefits everybody. But we're going to try to go through some of the basics today that we do every content creator workshop, the repeating things that we see every time. If you have any questions, obviously go ahead and drop them. But
yeah,
little things we see throughout the year. And I think the thing to do is just to start off is I want to ask Barrows, if you were going to have a formula, let's say you have a formula for, I'm just a dude with a phone and I want to make a channel today. And you can make a good one if you're just a dude with a phone that wants to make a channel today, right? Because really, that's all you need.
Yeah.
That's all you need. That's really it. There are guys who can just be the dude with the phone that wants to make a channel today that can have a far better channel than somebody that says, I'm going to have X, Y, and Z and wait for all these things and just blow those people out of the water. That's a fact. So if you're just the guy with the phone that wants to make a channel today, start with nothing. What would Bear Rose's advice? What would you tell that guy's homework to do today to get started? First
thing, you don't need an expensive phone. All your phone has to be able to do is do video. This is what I started my channel. Actually, I started my channel on a flip phone. Those very first videos are video taken from it. And it only had enough memory to do 1 4-minute video, which is prime, because when you're starting out, you only need to do about 4 or 5 minutes. That's as long as you want to make them.
So Frizzell's at 1,500 subs, and he said it's just my phone and me.
It's perfect. That's basically all you need. The editing's going to be a little tough and stuff like that, but we'll get into all of that later. First things first is just get out there and shoot video. Now, a lot of the stuff I'm going to tell you is because I'm a long form creator. I'm not a short creator. I do shorts, but I am primarily a long form creator. And by that, I mean I film this way, not this way. I'm not saying the length. I keep my lengths low, but I always film this way. YouTube likes this way because they can run ads easier if you film this way. And it's easier for your viewers to see it.
But what I like is that our eyes are this way. This is not a coincidence.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you capture more. When you're filming this way, you see more all around. When you film this way, all you see is just, there's a reason they call it portrait. All you see is your face. You don't see what you're doing. And people want to see what you're doing. So just tip your phone. Actually, Ultra Kathy, Uncle Tony's wife, years ago, even before the No Name Nationals, she sent me an email telling me, tip your camera. And I went from 3 subs to 22 subs. simply by going like this.
I tell people to shoot in portrait, film in gangsta.
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect advice.
but the thing is, everybody says, and a lot of people say this: do shorts, do shorts, do shorts. But what I think they're missing is why. Okay, there's two distinct things here. There's how and there's why.
Yeah.
You can show somebody how, and the how will work some of the time. But if you can get through to them why, the why will make them develop whatever how they need. And so then they'll start realizing, hey, there's a time to do shorts and a time not to, and a time to do the two together for maximum effect. For example, if I go on one of my crazy adventure videos, where I travel and do stuff and that kind of thing, I'll make a long form video, because to have a video where there's things going on, movement, travel, racing, that kind of thing, having the phone this way to capture all of what you're seeing as you would see it through your eyes looking around, I think is the way to go. And that's the case for most everything. Then occasionally I'll have something that is not worth a video to ring the bell and make everybody say, hey, let me take time out of my day to click and watch this. When it's something that's fun, but it's silly, like backup jump starting. And I had a battery connected to a charger, I had jumper cables, connecting a battery to a battery and a jumper cable on that battery. I had plan A turns into plan B, turns into plan C. It was like a 15-second video. It was funny. It was fun. It's a short. It's worth scrolling through, and it got a lot of views. But that is more something I would say is good for a short.
And a difference I found in there, because I still do shorts. You still have to do both. It's a balance. This whole YouTube thing is a balance. So I'll still do shorts. They're just under a minute long, filmed this way, and they're kind of, well, for me, I kind of throw them out there as kind of goofies or quick short little shop tips and stuff. Shop tips are good because those are what we call evergreen. Those will keep coming and coming and coming. But that's mostly what I do my shorts for. But if you, just like John was saying there, when your attention span, okay, if you're filming mostly in short form like this, you're going to build a short audience, so they're not going to really gravitate over to your long form. As you're filming this way, and if you're doing a drag race, definitely film this way.
Oh, yeah.
I see so many shorts that are done this way, and all you see is just the door of the car. You can't see the whole car.
Yeah.
If you film this way, I can see the tree. I can see the launch. I see everything.
Right. Andy says he uses a GoPro, but he edits everything on his phone. And I think a lot of people get wrapped up about the idea of editing when they shouldn't. So a couple of things I'll say on this. Andy Wood, as long as I've known him, does everything on his phone. Andy's got 40,000 subs. And he does everything on his phone. And I think that a lot of the people you see who build good channels and good followings figure out that just make your content first and say that the good videos only potentially follow the bad videos. Because all of our first videos, every one of us, our first videos weren't very good because we just went out and shot something. And that's okay, right? I think I have my first video ever posted to YouTube is still up on my channel. And it was my neighbor across the street getting stuck in the snow. And it was fun, but it wasn't anything that should win an award, right? You just get out and just make stuff. And then you can improve upon that. I think a lot of people will stall out saying, well, I don't want to shoot it until I know I can shoot it like I want it and make it like I want it. And that will cripple your progress.
Cripple you. It'll crush you. And don't get caught up on video quality.
Yeah.
You can slack, going back to the cheap phone. This is just a $50 Walmart burner phone. The video quality ain't so great, but people will give you a pass on poor video. But when it comes to audio, audio is king. If they can't hear you and your volume levels are going like this, they'll turn right off and they won't sub.
I'll tell you a
So
perfect example of that.
if you're
People are
going to
still
focus
watching.
on any kind of technology like this, I got a wireless mic. This saved me a whole lot of editing because I can pin this up on here like this. Now I can walk around, I can do whatever, and my volume is always the same. Well, until I put my head down right into it, but you get my point.
People are still watching Andy Griffith. And
Yeah,
the video, it looks like it was filmed with a potato.
some of it's still in black and white.
That show has been running for 60 years and people still watch it. But you know what? It's got studio sound and you can hear all the dialogue and everything. And so it's not really the video quality that keeps people coming back as much as you think. Barrows is exactly right.
Audio. If they can't hear you, they drop.
Lars has 5,000 subs. He built them doing the phone. RC Industries pretty close to that with the phone. So the whole point is, I just want to say that for the guys starting out, don't get caught up on equipment. I always
No,
give the same advice, and it is go out today, shoot a little, short in length video. I'm not saying necessarily it has to be a short, but shoot a short in length video on your phone and post it today. And people that go and do that tend to be the ones that make it every time.
Andy's got a really good one right there. Kind of jumping ahead a little bit here, but
No,
when it
I
comes
was a
to
little behind.
editing, just cut the fat out. Like he's saying right there, any dead air is a killer. Anytime you got to walk over to your toolbox, grab another tool or something, that's the only thing you have to edit. Don't worry about the fancy screen shifts and double screens and stuff. That's all nonsense. People actually will turn away from you if you're doing that stuff. Just cut the dead air out. They don't care if it's a little jumbly and a little shaky. In fact, sometimes it kind of works in your favor if it's like that. All you got to do is just cut the dead air, and nobody wants to see your feet while you're walking around.
I'll give a different approach to the same philosophy. So there's a couple ways you can do that. You could either take, let's say a 4.5 minute video and cut the fat out of it to get it to 3 that doesn't have dead air looking at your feet. You could do that. There's another way you can do it too. You could shoot a 4.5 minute video, you post it, you watch it, and then you realize, you know what? I think you find yourself becoming more efficient as you shoot.
Oh yeah.
And so over time, you'll wind up shooting that 4.5 minute video in 3 because you'll make your habits more conducive to the editing that you have to do. So I would rather you make a video that could have had a minute edited out of it and go ahead and post it if you're making progress towards shooting it that way in the first place. So either way works.
You'll get real good at hitting the pause button. On my phone, I can't pause it. So it's a drawback of a cheap phone. Once I hit record, I got to record all the way through. But on my camera that I do all my recording on, I'll self-edit the heck out of myself. Oh, I got to walk over to the toolbox. I hit the pause button, go over to the toolbox, click it right back on, and I'm going again. That saves me a whole lot of that dead air editing. But that's stuff you'll develop as you create content, which is the number one way to get there. Content.
Yeah, you don't get anywhere if you don't want to make content or put out content. Andy says that he believes in the keep it simple process, and if it's not broke, not fixing it. I get that. And Andy, I've been with Andy producing content before. He has a mixture of things that are really simple, effective, get them done, put them out there for utility. But then I've seen Andy really put together some well-edited, really good stuff, like sizzle reel stuff. So it's not everything you put out is going to be like big budget movie production with a John Williams soundtrack. And don't worry about that. But I'd say back to the thing for today. You got a guy that says, I want to start a YouTube channel today, and before I go to bed tonight, I want to have 5 subscribers, right? That guy, right?
You can do it. You can do it.
You walk out the door, you have a full battery on your phone. And you could go do anything you could do in your driveway, in your house. You could go somewhere. You could go to a construction site and film for a minute. Don't be afraid to mix up different kinds of content and see what your audience wants to see. Yeah, you'll figure out after a while, you'll hone in on it. But man, when you're first starting out, sometimes there's one kind of content you think is what everybody's going to want to see, and they'll really surprise you.
Yeah, and don't get hung up on the project itself, or what am I trying to think of saying here? Get out there and just shoot content. Don't worry about not a video not being good. A prime example, that last video I just put out, that's actually an old video that I thought was dirt trash. I wasn't going to publish it. I stumbled in it. It was a mess. I popped it out. It did better than a lot of the videos that I really tried to focus on. So my biggest advice there is you have no idea what other people are going to think of the video. You got to get it out there and let it just fly. See what happens with it. Just throw it out there. See what's going to happen with it. You never know.
You could do a fantastic video on a subject that you really think is super interesting, and maybe it is. But let's say that the one broken bolt you had to get out along the way, that could wind up being the thing that gets 100,000 views and gets you a lot of subs. I mean, quite literally, because sometimes it's those things, some of those simple things that cross over into a lot of places, like broken bolt. If you have a broken bolt extraction, especially if you're a no-name 500 guy, by all means, film that.
Oh, yeah.
For a couple of reasons. One, it should be and can be a short video. You might want to cut some out of it. Number two, it can be used everywhere, not just cars, but people with boats, tractors, farms, all kinds of places do bolt extraction. And number three, bolt extraction is one of these things that's kind of like auto body. It's kind of like a lot of stuff where people have different opinions. And when someone comes into the comments to tell you, even though you got your freaking bolt out, mission accomplished, somebody's going to come in the comments to tell you don't know how to do it, and I did it this way. That's fine, because that dissent in the comments drives that video.
And it's evergreen. Stuff like that is evergreen. Right. And another really good tip, again, I learned from right here at Buzz. If it's a how-to video, think of how you're going to imagine yourself looking up a video. How to take the brake caliper off of a 98 Nissan, and you're in the middle of the job. You want to just get this off and get it done as fast as you can. So you type in 1998 Nissan. Okay, I'm in a hurry. I got to get this job done. Okay. And you search it and you get 300 of them, 300 different videos on it. You're going to scroll to the one that's the shortest, because you ain't got time to watch a hour-and-a-half video on it. So you're going to scroll through it and you're going to find the shortest one and click it and watch it. Most of the how-to videos are like that. So keep those just as short as possible. No more than 5 minutes, because if somebody's got to watch it more than 5 minutes, they're going to skip down the list and find the one that's the easiest to fit into their time frame, if that makes sense.
You know, it's interesting you said. So let's say that you've searched for that 1998 Nissan brake caliper and you've got 50 results, right? So a couple of things here. Number one, when you're putting a YouTube video out, think about this. Yeah, we shoot our videos like our buddies are in the garage and like we're shooting it for our friends, right? Informally, like I'm talking to the chat here, right? Same thing, like I'm talking to Barrows. But when you put it into the YouTube machine, how does it know who to get it to? So if you want to be on that list of 1998 Nissan brake caliper people, you title it 1998 Nissan Sentra brake caliper. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
You might have wherever in there. You have 100 characters in the title, and that title is the way to get
number one.
You want to title that thing so that the guy who's on his bathroom break at a Walmart on the other side of the country on a 10-minute break can find your video. And the title is what's going to get it in front of him when he looks for anything related to that.
The way the algorithm works, This is a very basic roundabout how the algorithm works. It starts with your title, and it starts with the first word you put in your title. And when somebody types something in and they're searching for it, it goes from that very first word all the way to the end, and it goes through all of them that way. And every character, all 100 characters in your title is prime real estate. I never, ever, 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 ever put hashtags or call out, those call out things where it goes at Barrow's Garage, so it notifies me that, hey, somebody mentioned me. Don't put that stuff in your title. Drop that stuff down in your description, because that's free space. That's a freebie. Do not put it in your title. That title is reserved for only the valuable key search words for the algorithm.
You have 100 characters, so use that title to maximum effect. And something I'll equate this to: when you're titling a video, you title it so that people that have no idea will find it. Right? Don't title it so your friends will find it. Perfect example. Let's say candy. I see Steven in the chat. Big Block 402.
Put it down in your description so it doesn't waste that space on you.
Well, I'll just say an example, like Steven. Let's say that the title of his video was Candy Cane Gets New Intake. All of us who are familiar with the truck, all of us who know the project he's working on, we're going to see that, right? So that's fine for your buddies, but that's not how you get new subscribers, because those people are already subscribed. To get new subscribers, you might want to put
somebody searching for Christmas decoration stuff might type it in and go, "What the hell's a truck doing on there?" And they'll never subscribe to you.
Whatever year Candy Cane. It's 1965 Chevrolet C10 481 big block Chevrolet, probably more important than the cubes, or 402 cubic inch tunnel ram. Tunnel ram is okay because that's a term a lot of people use now. So anyway, use that whole 100 characters so that you can find it. Then, like you said, the description, you got 5,000 characters to say whatever you want about it.
Yeah. Then just pack that clear full of all of that.
Right. He's saying the new engine of Candy Canes and Monster. Well, that's cool, man. I saw the thumbnail. I've not yet watched that one, but I thought, well, that looks cool. So I like it. So the thing about the hashtag and that @ sign, they could go in your title, but the thing is that's taking up real estate far better used for words that are going to get it there.
When you can drop them in your description, and it does the exact same thing.
Yep.
And in fact, it'll double it up. You notice when you look at somebody's video, it'll say, okay, you're looking at the screen here, and down below it's got their title. Then it'll have these little blue things that pop up above the title. That's all of the hashtags and stuff you put in there anyway. It's all free space as long as it's in the description.
Mm-hmm. Now,
and also, when it's in the title, it looks like a link. It looks like we're from the generation earlier in the whole internet stuff where there was a lot of stuff you didn't want to click because you might get a virus. If that's in your title and it's looking that way, well, we're in that generation. We don't want to look at that stuff unless we know the people. You know what I mean?
It looks spamish, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. Right there. Yeah.
Well, so remember, too, our target demographic, and I've checked with a lot of my buddies in this, our demographic is 45 to 65 years old and about 98% male and about 90% American, with the rest scattered like Australia, New Zealand, some in Germany. But by and large, the 45 to 65-year-old American male is our target demographic. So if you do things that are mostly Generation Z stuff to be hip, okay, but that's not really who's by and large doing your stuff. And I don't know how many it brings in, but I will say for the most part, our demographic is middle-aged guys.
Yeah. And you'll develop your audience naturally.
Let's get on the thumbnail thing a little bit, because thumbnails are fun and they improve a video. So let's say that you shot your video, you shot your 3-minute video on a brake caliper, right? You've titled it right, 1998 Nissan, whatever, Sentra brake caliper, wherever. Okay. And now the guy who's across the country at a Walmart on his 10-minute break is searching for this, and you were on the list. It's titled right. The length is right, so he'll click on it. Now the thumbnail comes into play. Now we want a germane thumbnail that makes people want to look at it.
For this, I use TubeBuddy. It's totally free. There's a free version, and I used it specifically for its thumbnail creator. It's very easy to do. It's very easy to use. And it allows you to go through, if you don't have a video, you forgot to snap a shot of it or something, you know, a still frame of it. It allows you to go through and find a spot in the video and take a still frame out of it. And so, if you're doing a video on a brake caliper job, make sure that brake caliper's in there.
Brake caliper, yes. It can't be just a picture of the car. It can't be a picture of the parts store or any random thing. It needs to be a picture of the brake caliper.
Or something, you know, like that. It's got to be something to involve with it. If it's just you going, nobody's going to give a crap about that.
They won't watch it. They won't watch it. But people really don't have, at least when I say people, the audience in general at large does not have enough imagination to say this video some dude is taking up his nose is going to turn into that. But if he sees in the thumbnail that there's a wheel off a car on a jack stand and a brake caliper on the ground, oh, perfect. Because that's what he's expecting.
And YouTube will give you the option of 3. And usually it's you going like this. Or something.
YouTube will take a little off the front of the video, a little off the rear, and have a still at each end and one right in the middle. So TubeBuddy's a good way. I've got a different way of doing it. And everybody's thumbnails look a little different because we sometimes have different ways. If you use your phone, you can take the video and you can scroll to anywhere. And when you get the thumbnail you like from your content, do a screenshot. And guess what? It's already 16:9, perfect for a thumbnail. Another option is just while you're working or before you start or whatever, just take the picture you want. Just take a picture and use it. And then you have that. But that's
it's also if you have to add in from post. By post, I mean after, you know, you've shot and everything.
Yeah.
But like I said, if you forget, you know, oh crap, I should have got a picture of that. Oh well, if you have TubeBuddy, you can go back in and just take okay, I'm going to take that, and it helps you that way.
Now, a preference of mine, and I'll see what Barrows thinks about this. I like to go ahead, have my thumbnail image, and go ahead and put it in before I publish the video, so that when it comes out, it has the thumbnail in there. You can do it later, but I prefer that as opposed to having the video just have that gray with the 3 dots that looks like it's been removed, and then your thumbnail comes up a few minutes later. I prefer to go ahead and do it when I'm first putting my video up.
Also, in your thumbnails, you see how my name is right here. Comes up on the screen.
Blakers.
When you got a thumbnail, picture my screen right here as your thumbnail. Over here on this side, you got a timestamp that tells you how long the video is. If you're going to add stuff into your thumbnail, like your the text and stuff like that, keep in mind that these 2 places right here are going to block any kind of text you put up there. And don't cover your whole thumbnail with text. You want the picture in there and stuff, so don't overthink your thumbnails. That's what I'm getting at.
So Captain Deuce says, I wonder how Adam from Hoosier Garage got his videos, photos. If you, and I don't know, you'd have to ask Adam, but I'll say this. If you just want a photo from your video, the way I do that on my phone is I'll take the video that I've just shot, I'll scroll to the exact spot that I want, like the exact frame, right? And note, if you have a backfire through the carburetor or something like that, guess what?
Fire.
If there's fire in the video, that's your thumbnail. So you get the exact frame you want, screenshot it, and that's already a perfect 16:9 photo, perfect for a thumbnail.
Bad Tree Blake.
Yeah, Bad Tree Blake's in the house. So if you're doing a video today, so there's all kinds of ways you can add to this now. You can do all kinds of things, and we can get into all of that stuff. You know, putting in music and special effects and all that's great. So we just wanted to first cover the guy with the phone that wants to start a channel today.
Forget about the music. Do not put music in your videos.
Don't start, especially not when you're starting out. Right, that all of that just I would stay away from that for a good while. But when you're starting out too, make sure your comments are enabled. When the YouTube had the content for kids thing a while back, it really threw us a wrench. It was a mess. So make sure that your comments are enabled and that your content is not made for kids. It doesn't mean that it's not kid or family friendly. It just means that it's not designed for children, and so it doesn't have all those crazy restrictions on commenting and holding things and so forth. Designed for children comment, it gets treated completely different by the algorithm, and that's not what we need. Well, hello, Chris.
Thumper's got a good one right there, and it's something that everybody gets hung up on. The fastest way to kill your channel is an intro. Do not focus on them. If anything, do an outro. Instead of putting it at the beginning of your video, put it at the end. There's a couple of exceptions out there, but an intro is the fastest way to kill your channel.
There are some good intros out there.
Oh, wonderful one.
I really like Bad Tree Productions intro. I really like the Nivlac 57 intro. I'll say it right here, right now. I think that Johnny D's World is the worst intro on all of YouTube. And I say that because, you know, just watch it. It's horrible. It's 30 seconds of the words spinning around. 30 seconds of the words spinning around before every video. It's a disaster. So there's some great intros. There's some bad ones. But, man, you have seconds to get these people's to say, hey, this is worth my clicking on.
Yeah.
And if the intro's taking that up, you run a risk. Now, once you have an audience and you're established, all this is, see what you want to do. But man, if you're starting a channel and you're in the No Name 500, an intro is really, really risky. It's like a fish hook with no barb on it, saying, I got to keep this fish on here for 20 seconds before I can even try to put them in the boat. That's risky.
That first minute of your video is crucial. That's when you have to have everything perfect.
Well, I'll tell you what, Captain Do, there's a lot of great channels that only use the phone. So do what works for you, but I'll say this, the phone is an awesome tool.
I use camera most of the time.
Yeah, Thumper says if you don't want to watch those intros on Netflix or Prime Video, don't do it in your videos. I agree.
Network has figured it out too. You watch Game of Thrones, there's a little skip intro that comes up. You watch Ray Donovan, there's a little skip intro that comes up. Because once you've seen it, you don't want to ever see it again.
And speaking of intros, Blake brings up a good point. There are some generic intros in a can floating around out there, where people can put their own text and pictures and that kind of thing. And I got to tell you, and I'm just speaking for me. I don't know. What do you guys think about it? Tell me. But when I see one of those, I'm like, if their intro is all cut and paste and their intro is a generic intro,
then that's what their channel is going to be like.
And that to me is like a red flag they got to overcome from the get-go, right? Blake's intro was handmade.
With everything in this automotive community, be yourself and shoot your own content. That's why I say be very careful with music. That can get you in trouble in a hurry. Just make sure that everything you shoot is genuine for yourself. And You're not using anybody else's stuff. You're not copying, direct copy and pasting out other people's stuff. Keep everything you, and you'll succeed.
Barrows, John Cope is telling you nice t-shirt. He likes your No Name Nationals
I
t-shirt.
like that one. I've been waiting for 2 weeks to put it on.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I don't know why this is, but I ship stuff everywhere. Idaho is a black hole of shipping because I've sent stuff to Barrows, to Landon, to Justin Hill, and it's like their stuff takes forever. I can ship something to Scott and he'll get it a week before they do. That makes no sense to me, but it's true. I've discovered that.
We still go by Pony Express.
Yeah.
Sometimes a text will even take 3 days for me to get it. And that's no lie.
When you mentioned the music thing, like New Guy's Guitar, his channel is about music. That's a different thing. And it's his is original music.
That is a rough genre because of that.
Right. But that's what his channel's about. The original content thing, we see a lot of pirated content and stuff like that all over YouTube. And I got to tell you, to me, the pirated content stuff is not in the spirit of what the No Name 500 and the No Name Nationals is all about. I mean, the whole point of the No Name 500 and No Name Nationals is that we have a community, you're sharing your content so that other people can get to meet you, see your projects, and will want to see you in person when you make it to Sykeston. That's the whole point of it. And so if you do it with pirated content that has nothing to do with you or your projects, see, that's just not in the spirit of what we're doing.
Yeah. And you won't make it. YouTube will bury you for it.
Now, I can tell you, there's a YouTuber in our comments. He was at the No Name Nationals first year, Street Fox Mike. Mike goes to tracks everywhere. He loves to go to the drag strip. I don't know how many weekends a year he spends the track, but he shoots video at the track all year long. It's original stuff, but that's what his channel's about. And he shoots it all. I can think of another channel, I won't mention who just steals drag race footage and puts on his, claims it for his own to get the clicks and intercept them from the rightful content creators. That's not what it's about. What Mike does is that's his channel. That's what he's about. He went to all of those places and met all those people and shot all that video.
And you can see it from his camera angle. That's yours then.
Here's a good one that Tavo brings up. And I'm curious what Barrows' experience are with this. He's gotten a music copyright strike for walking past a PA with music playing.
Sometimes, it depends on the artist that is playing. There's a few artists out there that absolutely 250% hate YouTube. So those ones will hard strike you and they will not let it go. But some of them you can... It's a process. You got to write to YouTube and say, hey, this was accidental. It was on the overhead. It's a process. You can get them dropped. And a lot of them aren't necessarily strikes. A strike is a strike, and you're only allowed 3 of them, and then they delete your channel.
Ugh.
A lot of those are just claims. Now, a claim won't hurt you channel-wise, but if later on, if you ever get monetized, you get nothing out of it. The person who owns the music, which is probably the record company, not even the artist, is going to take your 5 cents off of that video that you would have made off that video. And you won't get any credit for any of the watch hours on it. So if you're looking for, again, this is more advanced than what we were going to get into. But if you're pushing towards getting monetization hours, your 4,000 watch hours, none of that counts. It has to be 100% yours in order for it to count. But like I said, most of those strikes are just claims, and that's all they're doing. They're claiming all of the revenue from your video.
So one thing I'll tell you, if you're just starting, don't worry about an accidental claim. All right.
Yeah.
I have had lots of videos where situations like this, little things where there will be a copyright claim got embedded into it. Either, here's a perfect example. I did a video of a radiator getting cleaned at the radiator shop. I didn't even think about it at the time when I shot it. In the radio on the background, the Doors were playing, right? Thought nothing about it. I got back, edited the video. It was white noise to me, right? Because it was loud in that shop.
Yeah.
Watching the tank getting soldered and cleaned, I put it together, and then I get a notification I had a copyright claim because of that music. Well, there was really no way around it. I couldn't just edit that out and repost it, but I didn't care because you know what was more important to me? Getting the footage of the radiator, and people could see it. It was an original GM Harrison radiator for Chevelle I was working on. I'm like, well, I want people to enjoy this. So I didn't care. You know what? Let the Stones or the Doors or whoever was playing, I think it was the Doors, let them have that 5 cents. I want to get my content out there. So if you're new and you get a claim, it doesn't matter. Just roll with it.
It's just a claim. You still get all the subscribers from it, all of that
They'll
stuff.
They'll get your 3 cents. Don't worry.
It's just if, later on you get monetized and that video takes off and shoots to the moon, well, you won't get any money off of it. That's the only thing on a claim. But a strike is a strike. And if you get 3 of them, you're out.
Blake is halfway to 76, so I wasn't going to out him, but since Cope did.
And you'll know the difference on a strike. A strike, they actually, boom. That's a big warning.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things you can do. We just want to make sure to try to help people that are in all different places of this. If you're just starting out, and also when you're more established, like Bad Tree Productions is, you can start mixing these things in there and do more advanced editing and things like that. But just make sure you know what you're trying to do. Don't try to emulate a 1 million sub channel if you have 200 and say, well, what works for that guy is what I should be doing, because that might not be true at all.
And if you want to use free music, God Lord, I'm gonna break my. In the YouTube library, look through all of those, and you got to pay attention to them. The ones that say totally free, you don't have to put the little disclaimer in. You can use those, but use them at your own discretion, because sometimes those artists will decide they want to now get paid for their stuff later on. I got hit with that, and I had like 9 claims.
You don't get grandfathered in.
No. It just all of a sudden, boom, I lost all revenue off of those videos.
I've had a couple retroactive ones like that. I thought I was safe too, and I couldn't figure it was why. That's why.
And if you notice, I don't use any music in my videos now.
Yes, do your thing. Don't copy Vice Grip Garage. Don't copy Cletus.
Yep.
Do your thing. Be the first you.
Your personality, you will develop your own aura and your own camera presence as you get comfortable being on camera. And in the beginning, you're going to be goofy, you're going to be shaky, you're going to be okay.
Comes with it.
Don't worry about it. Just keep doing it, and it'll come naturally to you.
You know, you'll only get better by actually doing it and refining. You cannot start out, seasoned. You can't. Junkyard D brings up something interesting that we so rarely see. I'm not necessarily saying this should be something you should do, but if you have an unusual situation this works for, it's pretty cool. Not many people want to do it, and that's doing a voiceover. There's a channel on YouTube. I'll plug it. It has nothing to do with cars. Tour Angie is the name of the channel, and she is from my hometown and does dash cam video of Bluefield. Just driving around doing dash cam video, and does it in these videos that are about 10 minutes. Well, the dash cam, between the traffic noise and the stops and edits and all this stuff, it would make the video too long and less able to hear. So she'll just drive a circuit around town and then get back and do a voiceover for the whole thing. And that allows her to say, oh, hey, I see that building. Let me figure out what I want to put in about this building or this street. And then does a whole voiceover of the whole thing. That's a situation or a channel where a voiceover works really well. Let's say too, you do something on the tabletop, right? Those kind of videos work really good for voiceover. So there's places for that.
Look at Outfitter's Garage. That is prime right there. He struggled and struggled and struggled until he found his niche, and it was voiceover. He'll go out and film, and then he'll completely voice over his whole thing. Check out Outfitter's Garage. He's one of our first. He's one of our first no-name 500s too.
You're talking about Russell, Outfits
Yep.
Garage.
Yep.
Yes.
For the longest time, he kind of struggled and struggled, and as soon as he caught his groove, and that's what his groove was, is just to film, and then he voiceovers it, and it kind of sounds like what's his name, Bodine, the Leave Your Light On For You. He's kind of got that same voice, just kind of laid back. Yeah, Tom Bodette. Yeah, that's it. And his videos are very enjoyable now.
Well, see, Russell's a pastor.
They always were, but
Russell is very acclimated to doing that, though. He's a pastor, so he's got a good speaking voice and good for that kind of thing. And again, if it's your thing, it can really work for you. There just aren't many people doing it, but it's not that it's not cool. Cope says he's getting into voiceovers. Yeah, that's right. Cope's doing voiceovers too.
It's a great way to do it. If that's your niche, yeah, go for it. There's a billion and one ways to do this YouTube stuff. And once you find your groove, run with it.
I'll tell you what I think would be good, and I'm kind of noticing this from what we have in the chat and the diversity and variety of creators now. I think that this one, we wanted to make sure, because even if you cover other topics, we definitely want to cover the things that help the guy that's just a guy with a phone that wants to make a video today, because that's definitely the biggest need for the No Name 500. However, I think as we go through the season, we should have like content creator workshops that cater more to channels that want to try to do more advanced stuff. And so I think it bears repeating to hit the very, very basics for each of these. But like Blake is saying, he's talking about, where to get your music and your royalty-free music and some editing tricks. Blake is definitely more advanced with editing. And
I learned a lot from Blake.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, oh, yeah. I think that will be good.
But for the new guy, just starting out, okay, I'll give you my number one tip, and it's the one I learned from Dallas Brown. Okay. Dallas is super, super, super busy. He's hardly ever home. He's only home maybe for one day a week, and then he's traveling around all these tracks and stuff. And how could he build a channel? Well, he gave me the tip. This is just a little bit before the the first No Name Nationals. You go out to his garage. Okay. You got your phone. Filming this way. Plan it out that you're going to shoot 5 to 7 videos, just little 5-minute, 7-minute, maybe 10 minutes. Don't go over 10 minutes for your first ones. Just shoot 5 or 7 videos right in a row, whatever you're doing in that one day. Then go in the house after it's all over with on that Saturday or Sunday or whatever, and you edit out the first one, okay? And then you load it up into your computer. You do your title, do your description, fill out your description. Anything you can think of to put in your description, fill it all up in there. Then schedule that one to come out. Mine was at 7 o'clock in the morning, every morning. So I'd go out in the shop and I'd film again, like this, not like this, like this, little 5-10 minute videos. Monday morning, 7 o'clock, I scheduled that one to come out then. The next video, Tuesday at 7 o'clock, always the same time every day. Then I go up, I go to work, I do whatever. I take the wife to shopping or to dinner, whatever. And that's all happening in the background. I'm not doing a damn thing with YouTube. It's all going on in the background. Every day, every single day, I got a video coming out. It looks like I'm in the shop every day doing something. Nope, that was all filmed on Saturday, my only day that I had to work out in the shop.
Well,
and I've got a video coming out every single day. That is the number one.
I made a suggestion to a No Name 500 guy last year. I really wanted him to take me up on it. I won't mention who it was, but I thought this was just the idea. He had a unique car that's a popular car. I said, how about just make one day a week, spend an hour a day, one day a week, right? And just go out and shoot 7 short in length videos about something unique to that car. And then you just go in, like Barrow said, you load them all up, you schedule them to drop the same time every day. And you literally are investing an hour a week in all of it. And it runs in the
For a
background.
week's worth of work.
Now, the only thing you need to do is keep up with your comments, because
Yes.
responding to comments is huge. It shows YouTube that your channel is alive and active, and doing stuff.
And then YouTube will push it. They'll push it more and more and more. And before you do it, title a playlist, make a playlist, and then automatically load every one of your videos into a playlist and put them all in that way. Now there's a trick to that, and this is a good one. When somebody's sitting there and they're watching your video, okay, they searched for your video, the 98 Nissan brake caliper job, okay? And you got a whole bunch of series on that Nissan. They're at work and they're okay, I watched it. Okay, that's how I do it. They set their phone down on the bench and they go to doing it, and it takes them an hour, 2 hours to do that. Well, your next video, because it's in the playlist, will autoplay on their phone or on their TV or whatever. It'll run through your entire playlist while they're over there doing the work that, you know, for the first thing that they looked for. And you get all those watch hours and everything from it.
Think about it
You'll
like
end up
TV.
watching your whole playlist.
Remember when TV was more of a thing? People don't hardly watch TV anymore, but when TV was more of a thing, these networks would very carefully consider what came on after what on the schedule, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they did that for a reason, because once people came home for the day and they turned on the television, they would leave it as long as there was some kind of continuity in what they were hearing in their background of their life. Well, see, Barrows is saying the same thing exists with YouTube if you do it.
Exactly.
You put it in a playlist. So if they have their 55-inch TV on the wall and they have your video up and they like what you're saying and what you're doing, they're following along, guess what? The next one will play, and the next one, it keeps a continuity. Good for you.
If your video just happens to pop up and they like it, well, YouTube says, hey, if you like that one, maybe you're going to like the next one in that series. And then click, yours will autoplay after that one's done, because they hit like or because they left a comment on it. It's just all ways to get the algorithm to work for you instead of against you. And it's all about increasing your odds.
So while there's all kinds of cool things and tricks, I'll tell you what, I think that sometime in the season, probably a little later in the season, is the time to do it. We'll do something on more advanced editing for the folks that want to do that. I think that's great. I think that for early in the season, it's April. It's 150 days and 6 hours and 1 minute. So there's plenty of time, right? We want to talk about things like what are your gear investments, right? Well, that's pretty simple. You have to have a camera of some kind, but the camera on your phone is like you already have it, right?
Yeah, that's already in your pocket.
You can
Might not
use
be the best, but it's there.
You can use something else if you want, but remember, the more complexity you add in your own production and editing, the less likely you're going to want to continue to do it. I would just keep it simple. If you have a phone with a camera, use that. So that's number one, obviously. Number two, if I'm a cheap tripod can be really, really helpful, because without the tripod, people usually don't get in their own videos as much as they should.
Yeah, they want to see your face.
People
walking hands videos can do good, but if they see your face and see what you're doing, it does better.
There's always the exception, and you're not the exception. The lock picking lawyer has millions of subscribers with hands on a table video. That guy has all kinds of stuff you don't have. Like, he has amazing lock picking skills. He can do one take audio. He has perfect lighting. He's tapped into everything else. So if he wants to have that one thing he foregoes being on camera, more power to him. But don't go after the exceptions. Look at what's the rule, right?
Yeah.
Having a video. There's a channel, a former No Name 500 guy that I really wished had the coolest car. And I always wanted him to just do a video, get someone else to shoot it, where he was on camera and say, "Hi, my name is, this is my car. Let me give you a tour of it." And that goes a long way, because now people make a connection to the creator, and that's what it's all about. So in a tripod or a bucket of sand, a stick, and some duct tape, I don't care. Whatever holds your phone still, so you don't have to man it, is all you need. You can go down to your thrift shop and find a tripod, with 2.5 legs, and it's plenty good enough. No one ever sees your tripod. So get tripod. And then your next thing, if you want to spend a little bit, again, not much, an inexpensive microphone when you shoot outside. Barrows has a cordless. I'll let him tell you about that. I have a cordless too. I love hate with that thing. But you can get a $20 20-foot corded clip-on microphone. $20, has a 20-foot cord, plugs right in your phone.
I'm using one right now. It's plugged into the computer here. So again, I'm used to it to keep my audio the same.
Yeah, Barrows does not have a big booming voice, and to him, that's huge.
Just these little lanyard mics.
Yeah.
One thing about these, though, they're directional. They're like a little shotgun mic.
Mm-hmm.
The audio goes this way. When you're going this way, you can see it. My voice kind of mellows out, and then I go like this, and it's higher. So they're a directional. They're not all around.
Yeah, and Nav is another one of those channels. There are a couple that do that, and they have their niche. But again, this content creator workshop is for guys in this automotive community. And what I would say is just in general, we want to meet you. We want to see who you are. Okay.
Thumper, you're a great guy.
Thumper says, I think Thumper says this stuff just to troll us. Because Thumper, he's not what he wants to cause you to think he is.
But the biggest thing, guys, honestly, it's just content. Figure every video, you got a chance of getting 5 people. So if you're doing a video once a week, come 151 days, you're probably going to end up at the gates with the cardboard sign. The more content you can push, the more you can get it out there, the better you're going to be. Shorts, I'll tell you right now, are mega good for quick subs.
Filling in the gaps.
Do not rely on those subs to hang around if you're a long form creator. And by that, I mean YouTube will drop subs, and they do it all the time. If you're doing a whole lot of shorts with your, to mix up with your long form, those short guys are going to pass right over your long form, and then they're just going to drift off. So shorts will get you subs. They'll get you subs really quick, but they won't hang around unless you're a short form creator. But John would have to do another creator workshop on that.
That's a whole
Dudes with Wrenches is the king of kings when it came to the first No Name Nationals for shorts.
Yeah.
But he was putting 2 to 3 hours per short and making them spot on great shorts. So there's a lot more work to them than just doing something goofy.
But his shorts, he tried to maximize the same kind of time commitment and quality of long form videos in short format. That's what he did. And he got the results that came with that.
Yeah.
Okay. So he definitely did not use shorts the way I think shorts were intended in the beginning, But what he did is he took the format, he took the length, he took all of that and says, okay, I want to build serious long form quality content and all that, but I want to package it into the short system. That's what he did. That's why it worked for him.
I think that's what YouTube
awesome.
actually wanted, but they got flooded with
junk
cat videos, you know.
They got flooded with junk. Yeah. But
and a flash in the pan video, you know, like you go to a drag race and you film a drag race. You know, they're cool. They're really cool, but people only watch it once. That's kind of what a lot of those funny shorts are. Yeah, people will watch them once and they'll get their laugh and then they won't watch it again. Unless it's, you know, really, really good.
I would say, though, and I'm just going to suggest this to the folks who are starting out, especially if you're in the No Name 500, make sure you do an introduction video and a short introduction, not a 17-minute introduction video. Do a short introduction video. 3 minutes is like it. When you're first starting out, if you can do videos in 2 minutes or under, you would be amazed how much content you can get into 2 minutes when there's no ums, looking at your feet. Not 2 minutes is a lot of time. If it's
I have one up on my channel. If you've never subscribed to me, when you first open up my homepage on my channel, there's a channel intro there, but it's only for people who haven't subscribed, unless you're me. And then every time I open it up, I listen to that damn video. I've seen it 1 billion times. But just do a little short video like that, just introducing your channel. Hey, this is me. This is what I do. Blah, 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 blah. And then there's a spot on your homepage where you can put that, and it's golden. It's golden. I've gotten a lot of subs off of that.
2 minutes behind the camera. It can, but here's the thing. When you don't cram a 2-minute video into 10. That's a disaster. Cram your 10-minute video into 2. That's the key. Make those 2 minutes, make them fly by, and people really get 2 minutes of great either entertainment or information or whatever it is you're trying to convey, but make it all purposeful.
I have two mindsets when it comes to videos. It's either break room video or it's toilet video. Toilet videos is what people are doing on the pot. They're sitting there like this, scrolling through, which are mostly shorts. A break room video, like I said, traditionally it's 15 minutes long. So, you know, you got a 15-minute break. You want them to watch 3 of your videos in 15 minutes or, you know, 1 15-minute. And that's mostly what your audience is going to be, a little short like that.
Yeah, I would say those are a lot of the high spots of filming. So if you're starting out today, take you and your phone outside today in the next 24 hours, shoot a video and put it up. Shoot a video with your phone.
Shoot 5 of them.
3 minutes or just to start in the next 24 hours. If you still need to get 500 subs, go out today or tomorrow in the next 24 hours, shoot a video that is under 3 minutes and just put it out there.
Yep.
Don't sit on it and say, well, when I finish editing it, and then in July, you don't have it. You know, don't do that, because this waits for no one. So just put it out there. And you know what will happen is people will say, this is good, this is not, this sucks, this is great, whatever. Great. They're engaging with you. The next time you go out and do it, you'll remember how far this is from this and walking up the hill of being out of breath, going from this to that, and you won't do it next time. And you'll get better and better and better at production because you remember all this from the last time you did it. If you do that every day, you'll get your 500 with all kinds of time to spare. You'd be surprised.
Oh, and another one. When I first started my YouTube channel, there's a little box that says, keep your subscriptions private. Well, when I first started my channel, I was like, well, whose business is it of theirs if I'm subscribed to who I'm subscribed to? So I clicked that box. Well, if you click that box, if you subscribe to somebody, they don't get a notification that you subscribe to them. If your subscriptions are public, every time you subscribe to somebody, they get a notification that Hey, this person subscribed. Hey, this person subscribed. And a lot of people will sub you back for that. It's illegal in YouTube to ask for subs. Sub for sub, that's highly illegal. Don't do that. That's bad. YouTube will come after you for that. But, people are generally friendly, and hey, you subscribe to them, they go over, they check out your stuff, they subscribe for you. It's actually doing what YouTube wants you to do, kind of and the No Name Nationals wants us to do, because it's great, building a community.
You know what? I find that over a lot of things, this subscribing thing, do your part by making the content, tell your story, show your stuff, clear audio, just get the content out without procrastinating, make it happen. And guess what? The subscribers will just come with it, right? I never counted subscribers or had all these things. I never did that because there wasn't a No Name 500 back then, in fairness, right? I never thought about it. And so a lot of guys, including in the chat and a lot of our friends, it just happened. Well, so now there's a number that people watch ahead of time and they're looking for it over the hood, right? But I will tell you, work on your content and engage with your audience and enjoy it. And if you're doing that and putting out content every day and engaging with your audience every day, those subscribers will come. They'll happen.
Just keep it real.
They'll happen. I tell people all the time, I used to do some competitive pistol shooting, and I'm like, if you want to be fast, shoot well. If you shoot well, the speed will come.
Yep.
You can't shoot fast and the accuracy comes. That's not how it works. You can't say, I want to just get subscribers first, and the content will come. That's not how it works. You make the content first, the subscribers will come.
Do I use a torque wrench on a valve cover? Absolutely not, because I've done it so many times. I know where 10 pounds is.
Have fun. Have fun. 318 Will Run is a really good role model in this community. He is a guy that goes out, he gets it done. He's very relatable, very humble. He shoots his stuff. He does great content, great experiments before and after the dragway. He's a good role model for someone to say, hey, I want to do stuff like Tim does.
And just like he's saying there, don't worry about perfection. Sometimes you'll leave a mistake. You'll put a mistake in there. That's not a this. It's that. I know better. But sometimes leave a little bit of that in there. I call it troll food. You'll see in a lot of my videos, there's a little sprinkling of troll food in some of them.
Now, Damien has
something in there is questionable, somebody's going to leave a comment on it.
They'll all, let me tell you, you can do 1,000 things right. If you do one thing wrong, they'll catch it. You don't have to tell them. They live for that. Mopars, Mustangs, and Minivans asks, I think the algorithm for what you watch messes with the algorithm for your posted videos. So in other words, if you like to watch roller derby, but you like to make content on house painting, do you think that messes it up? I don't think so.
That comes from your watch history. Again, this is a little more advanced, but about every month or so, clear your watch history. And then it'll just direct it all back.
I'm not a good one to ask that for the simple reason what I watch on YouTube is you guys. So it doesn't really. Hammer Wrench says, share your knowledge that people may not know.
Exactly.
If they like it, they'll trust you. The subs will come. I totally agree with that. I completely agree. Dust Devil says, I just leave my mistakes in.
Yeah.
Sure. And you can always do that. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
And that's what I mean by troll food. I'm not talking malicious mistakes or flat out blatant fantasy land stuff. No,
but for me, my preference is, and I don't do as much long form as what I used to. A lot of my product is live, but when I do long forms, usually what I'll do is I put my bloopers in at the end. I'm not taking them out. You guys can enjoy my, mistakes with me. That's fine. I don't have a problem with the bloopers, but I'll put them in at the end because once we've stayed engaged in the whole thing I'm doing without getting derailed with that, then we can all laugh at the stuff together. That's usually the way I do it, but do what works for you, but have fun with it. This is a journey. It's fun. It's supposed to be fun.
Aunt D's got a good one right there.
Yes, I was going right for it.
You see that, to lock in on that one.
Barrows has a great one for this.
If you have a question on something and you get stumped and you get the temptation to pick up the phone to call me to ask me how I would do it, do a video on it and ask in your video. You don't have to necessarily ask me, but if you get stumped and you want it and you're looking for advice, oh my God, that's golden video right there. YouTube is full of keyboard experts. You're gonna get a million comments on it. Half of them be wrong, but you're gonna get something off of it. Throw it out there. Throw it out there that you don't know. People will respect you for that.
One of the things you'll see
if you call me on the phone, we're just talking back and forth. I didn't even see you didn't even get my view on it. Put it out there on YouTube. I'll watch it. I'll comment on it.
So one thing you probably notice on YouTube, Barrows, is okay, so there's a lot of just filler garbage on YouTube that's just these machines, like these, I don't know what they are, but they're not like real accounts. They're just machines trying to lure in advertisers and bots. Okay. Yep. One of the things I see a lot of, though, while those channels aren't anything that I want to subscribe to, or you can't engage with them or anything, they're not even really people. They do tend to show you mechanical administrative things YouTube likes, because that's all those do is study that stuff. Yeah. One thing those do is they love to have community post opinion polls. And the reason is because there are people that will stop everything they're doing to rush in and give you their opinion. So it's exactly what Barrows says. Asking a question in your video, put a question in the title to the video.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, yeah. You got to title it that way.
It's a big deal. Put the question in the title. There are people that have absolutely no interest in your 1998 Nissan brake caliper job. But if you ask a question, should I do this? That guy will come home from work a half a day early to get on there and tell you how you're wrong. And if you got a video doing that for you, that's big.
And if you don't know how to do this automotive stuff, don't worry about it. People love to watch people learn,
Parking brake cables, something that you might not have even thought was any worth filming, and yet it's a huge video that continues to get comments and so forth and so on. I have a video, my best performing video ever is a couple of drunk people getting thrown out of a football game. Hundreds of thousands of views, hundreds of subscribers, and it has probably the least amount of effort I've put into any video. It's 2 minutes and 5 seconds long. I'm telling you, when you shoot the stuff, you don't always know what's going to take off and perform.
Just the one short that I had that moonshotted, I went out and I filmed I'm spraying Easy Off on a big block Ford, getting it ready for paint. Okay, I went around, I did a short on it. All it is just me filming like this with the can right here. And you get to see the bubble up. Ooh, exciting, right? Yeah, like watching paint dry. But when I put that video out, it was crickets, nothing. And then Buzz here, well, I titled it Degreasing a Big Block Ford with Easy Off. That was my title, and I had nothing in the description because it was a short. I didn't care about shorts and descriptions. And Buzz here, he's the one that told us about titling and adding descriptions. Descriptions are also very, 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 very important too. So he told me to go back and readjust all my titles and add descriptions and fill it out. So I went through all my videos and went through and tweaked them and adjusted them and filled stuff out. And then I finally got around to doing my shorts. And then I retitled that one. I don't remember what I titled it now, but it's a lot more lengthy title. I put in a full description in the description part. And in 3 days, that sucker hit almost 1 million views. And I got, oh Lord, 2,500 subs off of that one short because I titled it and I put a description in it.
Landon says, why don't you do this stuff to show how it builds a channel? He did. It's called Barrow's Garage. I'm being serious, though. Look, there's a link to Barrow's Garage down in the description of this video. There's also a link to all of our No Name 500 guys who are currently running the No Name 500 down there. So check it out. Barrow's a good role model. Yeah, even if it's boring, people might want to come along for the ride. Now, here's something that I disagree with.
Landon was kind of my private experiment. I took everything I learned from Buzz and I told it to Landon. And it's easy because he lives like 4 miles from me and he's over to the shop every day anyway. So I was able to interact with him personally on all of it. And Landon, he took off in his own way. He's got his own audience. He's got his own thing and his own way of doing things. And he's way above me in subs now. And he's actually making okay money at this now. If you apply yourself and apply all of these simple little tricks, and a lot of it, you're going to actually just develop on your own. You're going to figure these tricks out by yourself. And you'll launch. You'll just explode.
Mexican Spec says, if they subscribe for house content and you go back to cars, they unsub. No, they don't. They don't unsub. They stay subscribed. They might not continue to watch, but they'll stay subscribed. It takes effort for somebody to click unsubscribe. And generally they don't.
Usually you lose subs because YouTube drops them. If they haven't watched you in a long time, 6 months or so, their sub will fall off.
You know what? This is I'm not suggesting anybody necessarily do this for safety reasons, but if you do it, you will get subscribers. You know what? Anybody who is a welder who can do this safely without burning yourself, do a video welding in your pajamas and you will get your subscribers. Do it.
He's got one.
I mean, that's it. That's all it takes. Yes, Barrows does good stuff. And the link for Barrows is right here, also down in the description.
Thanks, up.
Yeah, you're always going to be organically losing subscribers randomly. Yeah. The YouTube machine goes through and does some housekeeping on occasion, and I find that sometimes when somebody says, "Hey, I lost 20 subs last night," you'll find other content creators, "Yeah, I lost 7, I lost 32, I lost 1." You'll see that kind of. We don't know when the machine does its thing, but when it's your floor in the building, it's time to get house cleaned. It happens. So don't lose heart. It's not a mass hatred thing. It's the machine.
Yeah. It tends to happen a lot on lives. If you're on somebody's live and you go through and you're just blindly subbing to all of these people, you know, because you want to get around to watching their stuff, but you just, okay, I'm going to sub him and I'll watch his stuff later. A lot of times YouTube will say, uh-oh, maybe that's a bot. Maybe that's somebody got it, you know, a bad channel is latching on. So what they'll do is they'll pull that sub and they'll stick it over and they'll scrub it clean to make sure it's a real person. And after about 3-4 weeks, boom, they'll put it back. I noticed that.
Now,
but to combat that and make it stick, when you find somebody in these lives that you want to sub to, open their channel, look at a short that they did. Yeah, see, shorts, they work. They're not all bad. Click open their short, like it, and put a little comment, whatever, an emoji, a little way cool or something. Comment and then subscribe them, and then it'll stick.
You'll notice when I tell people to check out the No Name 500 channels, I never say, "Hey, go subscribe to these guys." It's not what I say. I say, go check out their channels and see if they earn your subscription. What that means is that I'm encouraging people to go check out their channels and see if they're your subscription. So in other words, go watch and go comment and go engage. And then the subscription's kind of like the last thing to do there, right? Because if you watch and you engage, of course you'll subscribe, but it'll stick. And it pushes their channel too, because you've both watched and commented. But I
And
think the
follow
most,
through with all the engagement. Get involved with these lives, meet people. Even if you're just doing it in the chat
yeah,
form, or find lives that do like an open mic where they allow other people, like I am in here with John tonight. Get involved, open yourself up. Well, I'm not saying totally open yourself up, but you get what I mean. Uh, comment on people, just interact and become part of the community. That is the biggest thing. While
Philip,
you're doing your own videos too, because as you're doing your videos and you're commenting on others and you're involved in these lives, they're going to come over and they're going to watch your stuff, and it's just going to take that snowflake, turn it into a snowball, into an avalanche for you.
Philip the Third is already thinking about how do we title it. How about not to weld in your underwear? See, you're already there. You go. That's the way he's thinking about it. You make that video, do that title. There you go.
Oh, and when you're uploading your video and you're getting ready to do it, there's a little section down below for your hidden tags. Make sure you fill out all of your hidden tags as well. I can't think of how I can explain that. You know what I'm talking about, right,
I wouldn't
John?
even worry about it for today, as long as we get people to just get out there and make something with their phone and put it out. So for all of you No Name 500s or No Name 500 hopefuls who have not yet registered, go out today or within the next 24 hours, if you don't have enough daylight, shoot something on your phone that's 3
Yep.
minutes or less and make the best title you can and post it. So Mopar's Mustangs make, can you weld in your underwear? That's a good question. The word fail in there, even if it's not a fail, people like fail for searches.
And title what kind of welding it is.
Yeah.
Stick weld. There's a lot of people that like stick weld. Right now, flux is pretty hot. Well, TIG, if you want to get into TIG in your underwear, I guess. Actually, it'd be the safest of all of them, or MIG or whatever. Welding videos are hot right now.
So we're not snobs here. We're not the grammar police, but man, it is important that you spell your tags correctly.
Yes.
Spell all your title words and all that correctly. And if you do hashtags, obviously, if they're not spelled exactly right, they don't work. Imagine an email address that you get it 95% right. It's called undeliverable. It's the same thing. Okay, so mention and title. One thing real important I want to mention to this, and he's in here. He was in here, the RT211 Racing, Ross.
Uh-huh.
I told him I was going to do this and ask him if this is okay. He has a video out comparing two carburetors for his car.
Oh, beautiful.
He switched from, I think it was a 750 to an 850 carburetor.
Okay.
And the first thing I saw was in the title, you need to have Holly. You need to have Brawler, the make and the model of the, Ross is here, the make and the model of the carburetor. And if you maximize that title, think about it. Everybody who's looking for information on the Holly Brawler on YouTube, YouTube is the second biggest search engine in the world. That word Brawler wasn't in there. Your video won't come up. So I would retitle that guy to say, you know, I would say something like replacing 750 Holly with 850 Holly Brawler or something like that. Use every bit of that 100 characters to get as many specific things, and then put on the whatever your Challenger is, 1973 Dodge Challenger 408 or whatever. Every bit of that title you can get to improve your searches.
And anything that's left out that you can't fit into the title, then you jump down into the description. On your description, make the first sentence the person, because that's all that they're going to see. They're not going to click the little button to read more and read your whole. If you can fill out all 5,000 if you want, they're probably not ever going to read it. But that first sentence they'll be able to read. So in your description, just on today's episode or whatever, I'm putting a blah 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 750 Holly or taking off the 750 Holley carburetor, or if you put carb in your title, but to shorten up for space, so you got enough room to put all that stuff, down in the description, instead of putting carb, spell out carburetor. And I'm going to replace it with a Holley Domin or Brawler carburetor for this. And then you fill out what car it is. Make about a paragraph or so in your description of everything that you can think of that's going on in the video. Like I said, the human is only going to see your first sentence, but the algorithm is going to read every single word that you put in there. So when somebody searches it, it comes up on the search screen for them.
So when a person writes a resume, they put all of these things in there to try to get the face-to-face meeting based off of what's in the text on the resume, right? Your title is your resume to the YouTube algorithm HR department. And if you want your video to get an interview, you need to do everything you can with that 100-character title. So Landon has a perfect example. He says, I bought an Edelbrock VRS 4150 partially just for content. Imagine if Landon just put in his, I put a 750 carb on there. That's not going to do near as much for him as if he puts in his title, Edelbrock VRS 4150, because now all those people searching for that hot new carburetor, Edelbrock VRS 4150, they're going to find Landon's video.
Yep. And it's a hot topic right now.
And
doing
Philip,
comparisons on them. Hot
wrong.
topic.
Asking questions, right? Questions are great.
Oh,
questions
big time.
Are a good deal. Because people in the YouTube world love to give you their opinion.
There's 1,000,001 keyboard experts on YouTube.
Yep.
Just waiting for somebody to comment to.
And I think that our community has seen all of them in there.
And when it comes to trolls, don't take them personal. Absolutely not. And some of them are actually not even trolls. They're just poking you a little to see if you're a real person. A lot of the trolls that'll come at you that you really, oh, who in the hell is this guy? Actually turn out to be really good people. So my biggest advice on trolls, just smile and throw a comment back at them. Just let them be.
Junkyard D says, does YouTube carry weight more in the title versus description versus tags or hidden channel tags? I'm going to say number one is title. In fact, what you have there, Junkyard D, is probably in order how they carry weight.
I got you on one of my troll foods there, Thumper.
This right here, what Jason says is great. Trolls answering help the algorithm. This is interesting to me. So our friend Bondo Billy, right? Bondo Billy probably got 200,000 subscribers starting from nothing last year. Okay. And he got it all organically. And occasionally I will see people, and Billy likes to rough up the trolls and have fun with them and stuff, right? Just, nothing profane or anything, but he likes to, have fun with the trolls. There will be viewers in there who will comment and say, oh, don't talk about your trolls. We don't like that. We don't. And I'm thinking, you have a guy with no subscribers trying to give advice to a guy with 200,000. So don't take advice from people on the sidelines, or you will be there with them.
Exactly. And you just kind of roll with them. You comment back to them or whatever you got to do. He's another one that really knows his stuff on shorts. He knows his shorts, so get out there and touch his like thingy.
Well, I only troll people in person. Like Levi. He says answering comments is important. Oh, absolutely. Always engage in your comment section. That's a big deal.
Because a lot of these guys watch Vice Grip and Cletus, and those channels are so big that they can't answer comments. You feel like a nobody. But when you fire back to somebody, and they actually answer back to you, that's a connection.
RT211 says, what is a tag? So if you look underneath of the viewing window on this video, you'll see hashtag no name nationals. There's a place for tags in your studio when you put your video up. You could put a tag in the title, but if you do that, it's taking up real estate in the title you can use for other things, and it runs the risk of making it look slightly spammy, but you could.
Yep.
What that does, though, is the YouTube machine notes how many things have the hashtag no name nationals. Right now, it's about 13,000. So that's a pretty powerful hashtag that will help your video. So if you're doing stuff, in preparations for the no name nationals, put that tag in there, hashtag no name nationals. It's a pretty big tag in the world of YouTube.
Make sure you're doing something that involves it, though. Don't just go out and shoot a video of your cat falling off the roof and hashtag it no name nationals,
Unless that has something to do with it. I mean,
yeah, unless you say, hey, this is the hard way to get to the no name nationals. And then you video your cat falling off the roof. Okay, you've got something in there. Okay, they're going to let you slide on that. But
right,
if you hashtag it and it's totally nothing to do with the no name nationals, don't do that. That's bad form, and people are going to unsub you for that, or just quit watching you.
Says Cletus and Vice Group answer some comments. Yes, they do, but we're not looking for the exceptions. We're looking for rules. So what we're saying is that for guys who are especially trying to get their 500, engage in your comments. It's a big deal. It'll really help you.
Well, like I said, I'm going on 4,000 subs right now, and I've answered billions of comments, and I still remember my first comment I ever got. That says something. I remember the first time somebody answered back to me too. Blew my mind.
Now, fun stuff. I remember getting my first 100 subs. It took years. TubeBuddy
is it's a great tool. Even the free version is a great tool. I use the paid version now. It's the very bottom paid version of TubeBuddy. This is in no way an endorsement for them whatsoever. But one of the biggest things that I use it for is my hidden tags. It gives you a big old long plethora of them. If you use the free version, it only gives you like 3 or 5 tag choices. Hidden tags, not hashtags. They're your regular tags, but that's kind of a little more advanced, I guess.
Hammer Wrench Renovation says, showing how to fix the bloom door on a newer Nissan is my most popular. There's very little out there except paying the dealer $2,700 to fix it.
And that's an evergreen video. People are going to be watching that for the next 30 years.
By evergreen, for those who are not familiar with that term, it just means something that is not seasonal. It's all the time. People will be searching for it on a continuous basis. If I put out a video about Christmas, for example, it will probably get searched at Christmas. If I put out a video on the Drunks getting kicked out of the football game, it'll get searched more around football season, right? But if I put out something that is going to be relevant all the time into the future, 12 months out of the year, but it's something that doesn't have any kind of season to it, that's evergreen. And Max Wedge Dick Dasherly has he says his name, his channel name, channel name, and the hashtag no name nationals takes almost the whole title. No, because your channel name is already there. So you put the hashtag no name nationals in the section for tags, you should still have 100 characters to use just for
any of that hashtag and stuff, or call out, like I said, with the @ Max Wedge Dick Dasherly, drop them in your description.
Yeah.
If you put that down in your description, you get it anyway. And then you still got your 100 characters that is prime real estate for the algorithm.
You have 5,000 characters in the description, and very seldom does anybody use all of that. That's the place.
And it matters. It very, very, very much matters to do a description. And don't pay attention to the big channels with that. Like, again, Cletus and Vice Grip and, anybody who's well established, they've got such an audience now that they don't have to do as much of that. But when they first started out, they had full descriptions, they had tight titles, everything, because they had to get, you know, 1 million subs. And after 1 million subs, well, then you got enough traction that, yeah, you can slack off on a little bit of this stuff. But in the beginning, you can't. You got to use every trick that you know to get that algorithm to notice you.
You know what? When people compare how they do things to those big channels, what I would say is when Walmart buys oil filters, they buy them by like the freight carload, right? That's not how you buy oil filters.
Nope.
I mean, some of us that have a bunch of the same kind of vehicle might buy a case, but most people just buy a few at a time or one at a time. Well, okay, so since we clearly see that we don't do anything like that, like Walmart, then why look at these giant channels and say, well, that's how I would? I would say no, because none of them started that way either. They all started, you know, organically and small and found out what sticks and went on.
It's like this cigarette lighter came from China. You'd think that shipping that all the way across the ocean would be expensive, but actually shipping that is less than 1/100th of a penny, because they fill an entire shipping container clear full of them.
But if
And then
you
they just
ship
pay
one,
for the shipping container.
but if you ship one across the ocean, it'll
Oh,
cost you
Lord.
100 times what the lighter does.
Yeah.
Chris 103 Customs asks, what does 28-10-5 heads up? That is our heads up class, the No Name Nationals, and a lot of other places will run that. It's limited to a 28 by 10.5 tire. No W sizes. And it's heads up, which means that it is first person to strike wins. Unlike bracket racing where you have the lights leave at different times, they leave at the same time, and first person to the line wins, and their maximum tire size is 28 by 10.5. No W.
Check out your videos are in the right category. The category does help. And like I said, in the beginning, you need all the help you can. So make sure they are all set to automotive. Does it help a whole bunch? A little bit, but every little bit matters.
I will say that the biggest takeaway from today is if you're watching this and you have fewer than 500 subscribers, in the next 24 hours, get out, shoot a video on your phone, 3 minutes or less with the best title you can, and post it. I would say do that.
And if you really want to launch and you want to get this all done and you don't even have to think about YouTube much, I challenge you to go out and do 5 videos today. Just like John says, same amount of time, just 5 videos, schedule them out for every single day to come out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at the same time. And then you'll see it even.
And if the 5 videos and the scheduling is too daunting, and you say, "Well, I'm going to wait a week before I try all that," then don't. Go shoot 1 and put it up. If you want to do 5, do 5. But the main thing is that at 6:43 Eastern time tomorrow, you should have a video up on YouTube of 3 minutes and less with the best title you can make. No matter what. No matter what other extracurricular, no matter how much extra you want to add to it, that's all great and fine. But at 6:43 p.m. tomorrow, a video 3 minutes or less, the best title you can make. If you do things like that without waiting for the next day and the next day and all of that, you're going to make it. And Philip III, we keep the clocks off, but you do get your time slips.
Because the more content you can get out there, the faster you're going to get your subs, everything. It's pretty much all done on a 10% rule. If you get 100 views, you're lucky to get 10, maybe even less than that. If I get 100 views, I generally get 1 or 2 subs. So if I'm only doing 1 video a week, yeah, it's going to take me a long time to get my 500. But if I'm putting them out more a week, the more videos, the more chances you have and the more opportunities you have to get more subs.
I would be putting out at least a video every day. Something very regular, and just keep doing it. And you'll be surprised, because while your video, your production and your editing skills are going to get better as time goes on, what'll happen is you'll get this nice bonus called something that you thought was just hot steam and garbage 2 months ago takes off. It's a bonus. Take it.
It'll do it to you right out of the blue.
Right. You never know when that'll happen. You'll just be like, whoa, where'd these subs go? You'll be looking around, and you look in the studio. Oh, that bolt extraction I did, that thing just got 4,500 views. I didn't expect that. And shorts are really good for filler in between. Like, let's just say that you say, I've got 2 long form videos coming out this week, but I really want to have a video every day. Put shorts in between them.
Yeah.
I mean,
Cousin Mike here is a shining example. He'll do shorts, he does longs, he does, he mixes it all up. And like I said, it's working for him.
Dakota's got one with 34,000 views. Dakota was fun, going through the No Name 500. He applied himself and did it. Let's see. Mater's he schedules all of his to come out at 5 a.m. Central Time. That's 6 in the East.
Yeah, I did mine at 7, which is really close to the same time that you're doing there. Just because on Eastern Standard, that's 9 o'clock. That's getting really close to the first break. 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock break, So I want to catch that East Coast right then. And then it rolls all the way across the country to California, And that first 24 hours matters. That's the prime point that YouTube puts on everything, is that first 24 hours of a video, how well it does. If it does really good in 24 hours, they push it more. But don't get really caught up on that just yet. Because like I say, I post mine up at 7 o'clock in the morning. It was because I was consistently posting at 7 o'clock in the morning that it worked. As soon as I broke it and went to a different time, they dropped a little. Your audience will naturally gravitate to whatever time you choose to post.
Check this
out. It could be 10 o'clock. It could be noon. It could be anything. But as long as you're consistent at that, it'll work for you.
All of the people who drop videos and schedule them to drop at a certain time each day, they all have more than 500 subscribers.
Yep.
So Rick, he's got about 4,000, something close. He drops a video each day at 6:30.
It's all about consistency and balance. As long as you keep consistent and balanced, you'll make it. You'll do it. And put a title and a description.
Yeah, there's a lot of different topics that we can get on, regarding, content creation, like live streaming. I've got a little bit of experience at that. How about you, Barrows?
Oh, a little bit now.
Just a little bit. But some of there's a lot of different kinds of it. And I'll say is this one, we kind of wanted to be more focused on making sure that we tell people what is helpful. If you're just starting out, or if you're stalled out at 200 subs or whatever, these are the things that are going to help you get unstuck. Yeah, and the live streaming is a whole other thing. That's why we haven't talked about it today. But I will say that is a whole nother thing. Well, the only thing I'll say about live streaming in this whole content creator workshop, this one specifically, there's tons to say. Don't let live streaming, when you're trying to use it to build a channel, don't let it just turn into a hangout. Because I have seen people will lose time working on their projects and making meaningful content because they're hanging out on a stream. I watched it happen many, many, many times over the years. And I'll sit and I'll watch it and I'll think, it's cool that these guys are hanging out in their garage. That's fine. But what's not happening? Content getting made and put out and produced. And that's what's not happening. And it's a shame.
I'll add to it. Like if me and John are just sitting here like this and we're just talking and I'm talking to John, and that we're doing this on this live here, and we're totally ignoring you guys, and we're just having our own little conversation right here, talking about this and that and this and that. You're going to look down and you're going to have 2 people watching.
Guess what? Guess what?
So you wasted that whole time.
Bear Rose and I have 2 of the biggest concurrent audiences on all of the YouTube automotive community. And guess what both of us do? We engage the commenters the whole time.
Big time.
Because we're doing this for you. Yeah. Imagine that. I mean, that's what it's about. I can't get over people that will have 6 people in a room. They're having a conversation with each other. Like, well, you guys don't even have to be on YouTube to do that. Yeah. You can just use StreamYard privately, because there's 3 people watching. 2 people have fallen asleep in the comments. One of them is still commenting. They're ignoring everything. I'm like, why would they just do that? So to me, engaging the chat is important. But that said, for now, the live streaming thing is a whole other thing. Yeah. I see people doing that because they want to build their channel, when personally, I think if you're under 500 subs, doing that at the expense of making content, video content, I think is a mistake. I think your place to, when you're starting out and trying to get your 500 subs, your better place is be a guest on someone else's stream, engage in the chat.
That's a good one.
Yeah, but don't replace your content you could be putting out about you and your projects and that kind of thing with it. I think that's a bad trade when you're new. And I'm trying to really get all the points so people will not take that out of context.
It's just another one of the tools that you have to use, but it comes a little, like John said, a little later. If you do this all by yourself and just throw out a live all of a sudden, you're not going to have a whole lot of people watching it, but you can try. But yeah, it's going to be kind of a waste in the beginning. But get on other people's lives, participate in the chat, build up to it, and then go off and make your own lives, and you branch off and grow and grow and grow. Like that big old spruce tree in Colorado. It's one of the largest organisms on the face of the earth. It just shoots up everywhere, and it all goes back to one tree.
Here's a really good germane one, Sodak Speed Shop. Do you ever re-release a video after you change the title and description?
What I'll do with that, when I go in to change it, I'll make it public, unpublic it. What is that?
Unlisted?
Unlisted. Change it to unlisted. And then I'll sit there and I'll think about the title, and I'll add in the description. Sometimes it takes me about an hour to do one, about that. Go through and you do it. And then after about an hour, 2 hours, then I'll set it to public again. Don't ever delete them.
No.
Because if you delete them, you lose everything you got off of it.
Yep. You lose all your comments that were there, all your engagement that was there. There's no reason to do that.
But then after about an hour, when you reboost it or make it public again, then it'll kind of boost it up again. And there's another one on there. You can do premieres. Don't do those in the beginning, because in the beginning, you're only doing like 3-minute, 5-minute videos. Premieres, that's for much later. Have about a 30-minute video to do a premiere, but I don't do those. That's much later.
Don't make a 30-minute video so that you can premiere it in the beginning either. That's even worse.
I've made the mistake of premiering one that was like 5 minutes, 3 minutes long. By the time everybody files in, it's over, and YouTube just boom shuts it off right when it's in. You piss people off.
No, I would say when you're starting out, don't.
Don't do premieres.
Premiere should be reserved. If you're going to get people to organize. Okay, so the nice thing about the internet is that people can generally watch content on their own schedules, right? So these people who work, and they work at night and sleep during the day and all this stuff. They can watch on their own schedules. If you want to watch Barrows at 3:30 a.m., great, knock yourself out. But when you're doing a premiere, what you're saying is if you commit to this time out of your schedule and you watch the video on my schedule, if somebody does that and the video is 12 seconds and they wait through 2 minutes of that premiere to a 12-second video, they're going to be mad.
Yep.
And they're going to say,
they won't come back.
I'm at least turning off the notifications. I may be unsubscribing. And I'm really upset this guy pulled my chain for this.
Getting a sub is actually pretty easy. Getting somebody to resub is damn hard. But I've seen that with a couple of, and I made the mistake myself, and with some newer channels, premiering videos that are way short, and yeah, it don't work.
You know, Hammer Ridge talks about this clickbait with chicks and the thumbnail stuff. There are people who've done that for clicks, but in the long term, that is not a good strategy, especially if that's not what your channel's about. That's just, I would say, just avoid that stuff right from the get-go.
If there's a half-dressed woman on your thumbnail, there better be a half-dressed woman sitting on your carburetor.
Yeah. That's a great quote. Should we put that on a t-shirt, Barrows? Is that going to be the Barrows 2024 shirt? Well, Twisted Mopar, what we're trying to do is lay out some simplicity for people to start with to not get frustrated. That's why I've kept saying, and I really hope people will listen to this. I'm telling you, if I can distill this whole thing down in the next 24 hours, not in sometime in May, not when my buddy comes over, not when I get this project done. In the next 24 hours, go out, take your phone, shoot a video of 3 minutes or less, the best title you can make, and post it. If that's all you get out of this, that may be the thing that gives you 500 subs. Is that?
Yep. And it'll be the weird ones. My biggest videos are pickup videos. I call them pickup videos because they were not planned. They were just, hey, there's a good idea. I'm going to run out and do it. And they just real quick and do a little quick little fat edit in it. Launch it out there.
Dr. Go.
Those are the ones that did it.
Dr. Go, talking to you specifically. Here's your challenge. Take your phone with your camera on it. Sometime in the next 24 hours, shoot a video. Don't get hung up on the quality yet or anything.
Yeah.
Shoot a video and make that video 2 minutes or less. 2 minutes. You know what? Because you'd be amazed how much content goes into 2 minutes. You'd be surprised. 2 minutes or less on your phone, and you with a couple buttons, you can post it to YouTube, and that's it. If you do that, you'll say, oh, well, next time I want to do this and this. And before you know it, you'll just be making content and enjoying it and interacting with people. And I'm glad to help you do that. My email, I'll put my email in the chat right now. Dr. Go or anybody, if you want help, I'll put this up.
I don't know, I kind of hate bringing it up, but Uncle Tony's Garage, in his very, very beginning, all of his videos were like 2 minutes long. They were super short. I mean, he came out and he talked like auctioneer.
He packed the content into that 2 minutes. Like there was not 1 second of that wasn't content.
Here's a quadra jet. Okay, yeah. Hey, there we go. And that was it. Boom. And I was like, whoa, what? But he packed so much into just like 2 to 3 minutes, and he did a whole string of videos that way. That he got monetized in like a month or 2 months just doing that. Just
well, but again, the standard
most of those videos are gone now.
The standard of success is not just monetization. There's too many guys.
No. I only bring that up because of the goal. The 4,000 watch hours, the 1,000 subs. That's when I say monetization, that's all I'm talking about is that goal line.
But the main thing is for the purposes of the No Name Nationals, your goal is 500 subscribers. But on the way, your journey is going to get you so many great things. And if it winds up being something that you do enough of and enjoy enough of that winds up becoming more and more serious and you become monetized, great. But to me, that's just like something else.
Very good.
Old McDonald is asking an interesting question. He says, shouldn't your first video be an introduction? Well, probably, but let's say that horse has left the barn and you can do that later.
And if so, put it in your homepage.
Yeah, make a
There's
video
a spot for it.
Maybe you've been on YouTube a couple of years and you've got random stuff and you just say, I think it'd be a good time to do a video welcoming all of the new viewers. There you go. Now you got a perfect opportunity to do a new introduction for a new generation of viewers. I've done this long enough now that I have another, not a real literal generation, but let's say that every few years your audience kind of cycles around in YouTube land. So in that sense, Barrows and I have a new generation of viewers, so to speak, like people who have come around in the last year or two. And so sometimes it works good to introduce yourself fresh for the new viewers. So it doesn't have to be your first video.
Another thing I just thought of, down in your description, put your name in there. Put your channel name in there. Because if somebody's looking for you, that's one way that the algorithm will find you. Also, you put your name in your tags, your hashtags, your regular tags. Because my name, Barrows Garage, well, that's a good subject. My first name, when I first started my channel, was Barrows. It's always been Barrows because it's actually my name. It's my last name. But when people would go to look for it, try to find me, all they would come up with is gardening and how to grow roses and all this stuff. Nobody could find me. So actually, Pete Hughes, my friend Pete at DIY Auto School, I had a chance to go and meet him in Mojave. Great guy. Anyway, he said, oh, you got a YouTube channel. Who are you? Okay. And he typed it in and says, oh, all I come up with is all this. He said, change your name. I was like, well, it's taken me over a year to get 42 subs. I'm not changing my name. I have to start all over again. He said, no. Those people will still be with you. It'll just make people like me able to find you. So I thought about it. So I added garage to it. And then he said, put your name in your description to begin with. Hey, this is Barrows Garage. I'm working on a 1998 Nissan brake calipers, whatever, in the description. I fill all that out because if it's in the description, my name is in there. When somebody types up Barrows Garage, the algorithm will pick it up and now they show it. Now they see it.
You know what I find funny about that, Barrows? Funny you mentioned that. You'll see somebody that, let's say, has gotten 50 subscribers in 5 years on YouTube, and they'll argue with a guy who's gotten 50 subscribers in one day by doing something different.
Uh-huh. Like
Don't
Max
worry.
It's dastardly right now. Oh my goodness. I dig your name. You've got one of the best names on YouTube, but your name is one of the hardest on here to search and find.
Yes.
Anytime you use special characters or underscores and all that stuff, you got to spell it correct.
RC Industry.
By correct, I mean the way that the person has spelled it.
RC Industry, my recommendation is not doing that. Everybody has garage after their name. You're doing great. You've got about 4,000 subs with RC Industry. I wouldn't change that at all. I think you're doing great.
Actually, if you know me, I hate the word garage. I live by the motto that a shop is a shop. You never, ever call your shop a garage, because once you call it a garage, well, it looks like my shop now. It's full of Christmas ornaments and T-shirts that don't fit and boxes of shoes.
Well, I'll tell you this about the Can't Find My channel. There are some channels here that are hard to find originally. 6% Recycled is very hard. Unfinished Project, My Next Project, Max Wedge Dig Dastardly. I'll say this. I get the syntax thing, but here's actually the best way to fix that. Just surge up past 1,000 subs, and then it comes up easy. Because once you got that, it doesn't really matter. Anybody can find you then. I mean, really, it is. So like, for instance, my channel name is just my name, but you'll find me on YouTube or Google always in like the first couple results. So if you just make that content, it'll sort itself out. If you just go, the biggest thing is don't procrastinate. Just go, do it. It'll
Buck
find
does
too.
it. That was another hard one to find.
Buck, exactly. That was very hard, and now it's super easy.
Yeah,
because he's got all that content behind him.
And if you have any questions on how hard it is to find your channel, don't look on your computer. Your computer knows you. So if you're searching it on your own, it knows you. So it's going to pull it up for you. Go to the library, log into the wife's computer, whatever that you've never used before, and search for yours.
I'm going to try something here. I'm going to do a search. If you were to tell me 6% recycled, and I search 6% recycled on Google, that's my top result. Plastic number 6 polystyrene. If I take that same search and let's try it. I can't use YouTube through my signed in because that's what Barrow said. So let me use just a generic browser that doesn't know. And I'm going to try. But see, remember, people aren't going to spell out percent typically the way Scott has it. So I'm going to try it 6% recycled. Okay, here's my results on YouTube. A bunch of sponsored stuff for shredders and such. And then I get recycled glass, stuff like this. So if I type in...
That's a hard one to be marketable.
If I type in 6% recycled and I do it... and I put it in like this. See, with spaces, the way you would say it, I get, again, a bunch of plastics and recyclables and recycling. But if I go in there and I do it all as one word, the way Scott has done it.
Now, a way 6% could combat that and make it show up every single time is to go into your channel, I'll just cut and make it easier. On every single one of your videos, every way that John just typed all of that out, put that in your description.
So you notice if I type it all together, spell out percent, take out the spaces, basically what Scott's done here is he's made it one word, one special word that doesn't occur anywhere else in nature but his channel. So you can't just tell somebody your channel and get that. It will get more and more searchable the more and more content, the bigger the channel gets. But like Barrow says, you can put that stuff in your description to help all of that.
And your hidden tags. When I go into my hidden tags, I have my name spelled probably 20 different ways. So they don't show up. You can't see them. It's only stuff that I put in that the algorithm will look for. That's what your hidden tags do. But I've even got the actual way to spell my name. That Barrows is just phonetically spelled. It's actually spelled different, but I spell it out that way. I spell it out Bear space Rose. Then the next one is Bear space Rose Garage. And then I stick it all together and spell it out. All of those are hidden tags in there. So if you type in any sort of way, I'll pop up. And that really helped people find me.
Real quick, unfinished project. Yes, you're correct. However, here's the thing. You just said that most people don't know how to search. We have to make our channels so that the people who don't know how to search still find us. That's the key. Sodak Speed Shop asks, rookie question when uploading to YouTube, it always asks if this is kid friendly. And actually what it says is it made for kids?
Yeah.
Like my content may be kid friendly, but it is not made for children. It's not made for a child audience. So always click no, the content is not made for kids. Doesn't mean your channel is not family friendly. It just means that your content is not designed for an audience of children. Then that will ruin you in the comments. It will ruin you in the analytics. I really wish YouTube would tell people this.
Well, it would turn your comments completely off.
It's a mess. It's a mess when you do that.
And it buries you.
It buries you. That is correct.
In the beginning, YouTube had a lot of problems with that. The nasty predators and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why they're so strict on that.
I just wish they told people the consequences of that box, because man, if you're trying to grow a channel, it's death to your channel, and people don't realize the effect that has. They really should explain to people what that means.
And if you have a kid in your video, you know, like I had my little nephew out there working with me on a few of my videos. It's okay. I still not made for kids. And it says on there, do you have kids in your video? If you expand it and then you go way over on the explanation screen and all of that and you read through it, it says, no, it's okay. It's just, you know, you're not directing it at child content. You're not making Sesame Street.
So we're about 10 minutes over on the advertised time, which is fine. That said, does anybody have any specific questions? And if it's stuff we don't know, we'll certainly be glad to help get you answers. Anybody have any anything?
And my live will follow right after this.
Okay, cool.
I'll do a real short one this week. But what I'll do on there is I'll bring up a screen share. I don't know, John, if he can do that here. But I'll show you a little more in depth on well, this week we'll just talk about those hidden tags and how to do that. That's a nice round subject, and I'll just cover that a little more and kind of show you where those are.
Just in general, you know, Barrow's Garage is a good place to learn about YouTube. It's a good place to hang out for that. But with that, we're past our advertised time. I'm always glad to hang out with you guys, and no particular reason to bolt. But that said, I try to stick to about the time frame we advertise, right? So we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you guys for coming out. We're going to do a few more of these throughout the year. And what we'll do is we'll do some different stuff. Like maybe we'll have one on a little bit more advanced editing, maybe. If that's the kind of stuff you want to see. Maybe one that focuses a little bit more on live content, if that's what you want to see. But I figured that the most important one to have first is just get out there, make a video, title it right, and send it. Because that first step is the step that keeps a lot of people from doing this. So hopefully we've inspired you to know that you can do it, and we're here to help.
And like I said, there's ways you can do this and not even be doing it. That schedule thing is your best friend.
All right, guys. Y'all take care. We will see you again soon. Have a good week, rest of your weekend.
Thanks for having me, John. Thanks, everybody, for coming out. You guys are all great. And we'll see you all in Sykeston.